Welcome back to our channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brad, and myself and my wife, Mrs. Piney Grove, bought 20 acres out here in North Florida, and it was raw land, and we are developing it into a homestead. We've got a bunch of work done over the last 4 years. We've had some buildings done, we've had a pond dug, we've had driveway put in, but today's video is going to be about connecting that well behind me to the house behind the camera. So it's North Florida. It doesn't get too cold here, so we don't have to worry about, you know, the top couple feet of ground freezing. I'm not going to put it very deep, but there is a driveway going in right where I'm standing, so I'm going to put it deep where the driveway is and then shallower where there won't be a driveway. But this particular trunk line will also provide water for my shed and for the pole barn. So we're going to tee it off as we come down here and then install shutoff valves along the way, and also some plastic sumps so that we don't bury the ball shutoff valves under the dirt and can't find them later. So let me turn this camera around and show you what we're going to do. Okay, here's the view from the other side. We've got our well and our pressure tank, our filter, and then we have two lines that are connected to that well. And those two lines going down, those 1-inch lines, one of them is terminated right there in the clay, and the other one goes over to a temporary hydrant right here. So I think what I'm going to do is come off that second line where the ball valve is turned sideways, and then go down here and go to the left side there of the shed where it's shadowed. We're going to go there, and that way we'll be able to get water over to the pole barn. Now the driveway is right here. Here's a driveway going to the front gate. It's not complete here because we weren't really sure what we were going to do, but it's going to come in here and it's going to make a turn and go to the house, and then there's going to be a parking pad on this end of the house. But we'll come down through here and we'll stay to the left of the driveway up here on this little berm here. And then I have some PEX coming out of my shed for where my shed was plumbed for water in the future, but the future is now. So I don't have a PEX to PVC connection, so I'm just going to put a shutoff valve here, lay the PVC so that I can hook it up later or have someone hook it up. I just don't have the tools for PEX, and I don't know that I want to invest in them. But we'll keep coming down here and we'll catch the water line at the up by the house. Now the white flags here are a new septic that was put in, so I've got to come out here from the water line. We have some cpvc 3/4, and if you didn't know, that is not the same size as 3/4 PVC, so I had to run around town and find adapters. But we'll come out here, we'll cross in front of the HVAC, and you can see the septic clean out there. We'll cross in front of that or over top of that, and I have to double sleeve the pipe as I go over the septic per the health codes. And then I got to stay 2 foot away from the septic tank. So I'll come out around this HVAC, and then I'll make an L, and then I'll go up there. So I've already bought the pipe. I've got 400 feet of 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe, and I've got all the fittings, or at least I hope I have all the fittings. I've got primer, I've got glue, I got special cpvc glue because you can't use regular PVC glue with cpvc. That detailed digging there, make sure I have the separation on the septic tank and the septic line and all that, I needed to do by hand. There's no sense even trying to bring the excavator in for that. But let me show you what I have to do per the health inspector. I got that 3/4 cpvc. I'll adapt that, put a shutoff valve there, and I'll make this turn. So I'll be 1-inch PVC once I adapt it, and I'll make this turn and I'll go over there. And then once I get there, I'll go to the right or up to the well. I got the trench dug, and you'll see my septic clean out is right there by the HVAC. And you're supposed to be 2 feet separation from a septic line, either 2 feet or 1 foot, and then 2 feet from the actual tank. Well, the white flags are the tank, but I can't be 1 foot or 2 feet or even 1 foot separation from the septic clean out and the line that goes from there to the tank. The white line is right under that dirt. So what the health inspector said was double the line. So I'll run a piece of 1-inch PVC, and I got a piece of 2-inch PVC that I'll put over top of the 1-inch. And he said that will pass the final inspection. Now I bought special cpvc glue, and I did a lot of reading, and there are some PVC cements that are both cpvc and PVC. And if you didn't know, cpvc is for hot water applications, and for some reason the builder ran cpvc all the way out here. He should have adapted to PVC at the cold water point and just brought PVC out here. I'll show you all this when it's done, but I'm going to cut this water line off and leave a little bit of water line. I'm not going to cut it right off at the foundation. I'm going to leave a little bit, and in case there's repairs later or something, so go ahead and cut it. All right, there she is. She's cut. Go ahead and adapt that up from cpvc to 1-inch PVC. So this will take primer and regular cement. And the deal with primer is you're supposed to glue it. You're supposed to glue the primer within, while it's still wet, right? You don't want it to dry, because this is a chemical process. And you want lots of glue, and you want it on the inside and the outside of your fitting. And then you squeeze it together, and then you turn it. Alright, so now I've adapted cpvc to PVC 1-inch. Okay guys, an update here. I've got the cpvc 3/4 to PVC 3/4 connection done with primer and cpvc glue. Then I come to a 3/4 to 1-inch up adapter on a PVC, and then a short piece of 1-inch PVC into a T. Then I go to the left with about 1 foot and a cap of 1-inch PVC in case we want to put a faucet out in the front of the house. And then I have a shutoff valve. All that's glued together. I have the basin that goes over top of that. I got to get that above grade. So I'll put a little bit of rock up underneath the pipe and get that a little bit higher. But then I come here to a glued on 1-inch PVC fitting elbow, and I put a rag in the end, because everything from that rag up to the house is pretty clean. I wiped it all out, tapped out all of the shavings from cutting the pipe. So I hand dug to here, and I hand dug around the shed, and I hand dug around the well, and I've laid out the 20-foot PVC pipe all the way up. I moved it up here to the right to keep it away from the driveway. Well, driveway will be over here on the left. And I'll tee off here. I'll put a valve and a basin there, and then I'll have to get a plumber to go PEX the PVC. And I'll come up here and I'll tee off. Now my trench is going to turn a little bit, but I found this 20-foot pieces of pipe are very flexible. And wherever that 20-foot piece of pipe ends down the shed, I'll just put a cap on it after I flush it, but I'll tee it off here. And I'll come here, it'll go under the driveway here. Probably dig it a little bit deeper under the driveway. And then we'll come out of the well right there. So it looks like about 160 feet of straight run. And then of course the elbow's up by the house. If you would have got this quoted to put in, I mean, I'm gonna be $250 at least in materials, if not more. And I don't know, let's call it 6 hours of labor, $100 an hour. You're looking at easily at $1,000. You know, $1,000 to put in a water line. And you know, when you look at it, you think that, you know, it's pretty simple. Just dig a trench, don't have to go very deep. It's Florida, don't have to worry about a frost line. But it's just, things are expensive when you're building a house, when you're trying to get those utilities and infrastructure in. And that's what we're doing here at Piney Grove. We're trying to get all that infrastructure in so that when we actually build our house in a couple years, it's just building the house. It's something else. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, a lot of effort. And the only other alternative is pay someone, and then you're looking at double the cost. All right, I'm going to follow this line with the excavator by putting down some of this ground marking paint. Try not to over dig the hole because then I'd have to backfill before I put the pipes in. So I'm just trying to take it real easy here. I think earlier I stated I was gonna, put in 20 feet and then backfill as I go, but then I can't really do a leak check. I'm gonna dig as much as I can. What I may do is spin around, and as I get closer to the house, dig from the house up because that's harder ground, and save the softer ground where I might have to dig by hand. But I'll show you what I got so far. So I just laid the pipe in here. It is not glued at all, but that's 20-foot section, the 2 lines, one going to the house and one going to the shed and the pole barn. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I've got these 2 pipes that come down from the well, and I was just gonna keep one hooked up to the hydrant over here and use that as, later something else with that line. But I decided to take the line to the right here with the black valve in the vertical position. Decided to take that line, we'll run that down to my parents' house down there, and then we'll take the one where it's shut off, the one on the left, the black line on the left, or the black valve on the left, and we'll run dual lines. I got enough PVC. We'll run dual lines up until the corner of the shed, and at the corner of the shed we'll break off and we'll have a dedicated line going to feed the shed and the pole barn, and then we'll keep a dedicated line feeding the house. It just gives us more options later on. Whatever reason the lines are ruptured going to the house and you got to fix that, then you still have water going to your animals, to your pole barn, and to your shed. So I just decided redundancy was better. Like we say many times on this channel, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So when I have these dual lines going down there, I'm assured that I'm gonna have water somewhere so that one leak doesn't break the chain and then I don't have water anywhere. Okay, so you'll notice I'm not screaming the machine. It's at idle, and I'm trying to go between 12 and 16 inches or so. You're not gonna get it perfect. The ground's a little uneven here. It's soft digging. You may go a little deeper. I got her idling. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and I'm just working my way through the trench, getting a nice packed bottom so I don't have to do a lot of shovel work later on. Okay, so it's about an hour later from the last update. I've done about 80 feet of trench and started the side trench to the shed. I would say I'm about half done, a little bit less than half done, but it gets less complicated as I go that way. But I think the soil gets harder to dig. It's 3:30, I'm not sure if I'm gonna knock this out today, but I'll show you what we got so far. All right, so we got the well and the first 20 feet laid in there, not glued up. That won't take much time at all. The trench is purposely curved because I wanted to get up closer to the shed and stay out of the road. So it's dug a little bit deeper here where the road will come. Again, there's the road ending, and the road will go to that white house back there. So it's a little deeper through here, maybe 18 inches or so. And if you see that electrical box on the corner of the shed, that's actually the power to the well, and that's dug 6 foot deep where you see this trench, the remnants of this trench on the left side. It's 6 feet deep under the road, and then it comes up to about 18 inches. So this line does not cross over that line. This water line does not cross over that electrical line going to the well, but it would be above it if it did. So here's the water line where it will go. It's a little deep here. It's about knee deep where I'm at, where I'm walking with the camera now. So I need to dig about 6 more feet, and then I think I'm going to start gluing up this portion. It's so easy to over dig with an excavator. I had that ramped up because I had it low underneath the driveway, and then I had it ramped up to where I wanted to maintain this depth, and it still looks like I over dug this a little bit. But this is as far as I can go today. I need to get this pipe in the ground, glued up and rinsed out, and then I need to backfill the trench because it's getting late. It's 3:30, it might even be pushing 4 o'clock, and I got probably an hour and a half, 2 hours of work here to do. So I'm gonna wrap this portion up. I'm gonna backfill it. I'm gonna stick a board in the ground so I know where the ends of the pipes are, and call it a day.
Okay, we got water. I turned on the well. We got water coming out the 2 lines, flushing them out. I'm running for a little while.
Here's where we're at, folks. I got the lines all flushed out. I hooked them to the well. They're glued all the way to the end, and then at the very end, I put some extensions on them, and I flushed them out with water. But now I got a backfill, and I put some boards down here just to show me where the ends of the lines are. And I didn't glue the caps on, I just pushed them on. It doesn't look like there's any water leaks with the glued 20-foot section. So, I mean, that's the best I can do. I got to get this thing buttoned up. That's the problem with being a weekend warrior. You can't just go to bed tonight and then get up tomorrow and come out here and finish the job, because I got to go to work tomorrow. So that's definitely the downside to not actually living on your farm or your homestead, having to actually commute and get things done. You got a limited amount of time. It's gonna be another late afternoon. Actually, it's gonna be another late evening getting home today.
So I got about this much left. I'd say 40 feet left, so probably halfway.
It's not completely done, but I've got this 40 feet or so done. I'll come back with the tractor and backblade it real quick. I can do a lot quicker job and smoother job with the tractor, but I've got it all packed in. I'm leaving that pipe exposed over there so I can finish that later. That's the ends of the pipe, and then you see what's left, the red line going to the house. Okay, I'm gonna jump on the Kubota tractor and get this smoothed out, and then we'll be done for the day. This sand grays out pretty nice, but next rain, a lot of that stuff is going to wash away. But eventually we're going to have a road there. We're going to have it bedded up, and we're going to divert this water the way we want it. That's all we got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, y'all.